Hey guys, this is Sam, and today we're talking about iOS 11 Beta 9, which are words that I did not think would be coming out of my mouth. We literally just saw iOS 11 Beta 8 2 or 3 days ago on Monday, and now we already have another new iOS 11 beta. But the same story with iOS 11 Beta 8, I'm pretty sure is going to end up being true with iOS 11 Beta 9. There were two very small changes in Beta 8. The volume heads-up display disappeared a little bit quicker than it did in previous betas, and Safari seemed more responsive. The total size of iOS 11 Beta 8 was around 60 megabytes on my iPhone 7, and iOS 11 Beta 9, which is today's update, was only about 41. So it's even smaller than the update that we saw on Monday, and I didn't think that there was going to be a whole lot to talk about in today's update, and it looks like that is totally going to be the case. The first thing I usually do whenever I install a new beta update is go into settings and check for new wallpapers or big standout changes there, and then head over to emojis and see if anything changed in that department. And in iOS 11 Beta 9, sad to say, they are exactly the same as iOS 11 Beta 8. The Fish Live wallpapers are still absent from the wallpaper settings preference panel, and there are no new emojis. There's nothing exciting to talk about here. So I looked on Twitter, and a few developers sent in their input for what they saw was new. Now, as it could be expected with such a small update, there were no forward-facing changes. All these happened behind the scenes with the iOS 11 file system for mobile SMS Buddy, Classroom Kit, Music Library, Messages, Setup, Notes, just a lot of small changes behind the scenes that you or me wouldn't really notice on a day-to-day basis unless it fixed a huge bug or glitch that was occurring. Because iOS 11 Beta 8 and iOS 11 Beta 9 haven't been out for that long, I haven't gotten a really great feel of how battery life and performance are, but I will say this. For battery life, I'm going to repeat the same thing that I've said for the past few videos because I think it still holds up to be true. Battery life in iOS 11 is not as good as iOS 10, and that might be like hard to hear if you're really excited for updating, but it's also frustrating for me. Like, I want iOS 11's battery life to be just as good as iOS 10.3.3, but there's also a huge difference between iOS 10.3.3 and iOS 11.0. iOS 10 had tons of updates throughout the year to make that battery life as good as it is, while iOS 11 has only been in pre-release beta testing for a couple of months. So that is a huge difference. Obviously, Apple had a lot more time to perfect iOS 10 over the past year than they did for iOS 11 in the past couple of months. But that being said, for where iOS 11 is as far as battery life goes, I don't think it's that big of a downgrade. Definitely not like terrible battery life by any means, but so far it's been okay, just not as good as I think iOS 10.3.3 is right now, and that's something that I wanted to make sure you guys knew about. Performance throughout the iOS 11 beta cycle has also been worse than iOS 10, but in iOS 11 beta 9, I don't know what Apple changed, but swiping down to enable cover sheet and even going to control center in previous betas felt a little bit shaky and didn't feel super smooth. In iOS 11 beta 9, it feels buttery smooth. It just flows in and out, and it feels like really natural and fluid motion. That being said, it still feels like there's a delay whenever you open up an app. Like, going in and out of apps is a lot slower on iOS 11 than it is on iOS 10.3.3, and this is the initial release, so there's so much time that Apple has throughout the year to correct these issues, make performance better, make battery life better. But as of right now in iOS 11 beta 9, that is the state of battery life and performance. As always, if more changes are discovered, I'll be sure to update the blog post down below in the description, and if you're interested in checking out the iOS 11 wallpaper, I will link that down there as well. If you've been using iOS 11 Beta 8 and iOS 11 Beta 9, let me know your thoughts on the releases down below in the comments section, and if you enjoyed this video, as always, it really helps me out if you hit that like button down below. Make sure you subscribe for more videos on iOS 11 in the future. I've been Sam, I hope all of you are doing great, and I will talk to you in the next video.